Hey guys, hey, welcome to another episode of my gardening adventure, and thanks again for being here for those of you who have already come here and those of you who are newly visiting. So today I've got to get started on some of my new seeds, and I'm thinking I'm going to do some celosia seeds. You guys probably can't see it that far, but they are celosia seeds, and I'm gonna get started with these because as I feel them, they're really tiny. And I've also got a couple other seeds, salvia, rose rhapsody, that I think I'm going to start indoors too. We are in January 30th, I think it is today. So I'm going to start some seeds. I'll put the names of the seeds that I'm starting below so you guys can check those out. You guys can also see where I have my seed hauls and all the things I've bought. So I like to get started with that. The other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my soil blocks because, like I mentioned in the other video, I purchased these and I am absolutely, I didn't go wrong with this purchase. It's the best purchase I've made so far, and I really like it. I'll show you guys how my seeds are doing in a little bit. But let's get started first with the soil. And for those of you who came back, I got a plastic tray that is actually gonna last a little bit longer. So we're gonna get started with this. I'm using my regular seed starting potting mix. I know it's not the best, let's not get into that, but I'm gonna use about 3 cups just to get started. I'm gonna do the water. Remember, you guys have to do water. Put the water in there. You gotta mix it very well. Now, I told you guys the other time that I don't want to get my hands in here because it's really cold outside. There's snow. I can't go out and wash my hands out there, and I don't want to put it down my drain. So I'm just going with a little regular shovel and mixing it all around. This potting mix, it's not the best one. I know, I just couldn't find anything else, and that was the cheaper, but it's working out so far for me. The seeds are germinating, and I can still use it for my soil blocking. But if you guys can find something else that is a lot better, then by all means go ahead and do that. Again, this is just what I have. The only thing is this takes a while to mix. So in my video, soil block video, I mentioned that, you have to be meticulous with this. Mix. And now I'm gonna use, I think this is good. I have a good consistency. I like to start my seeds in the little ones. So here are the reasons why I like that approach. Because I get to sow an individual seed per square soil block, and I can maximize my production of plants. Whereas if I seed or sow 2 by 2, then I probably have to thin some out. However, I did do that for some of the plants, but that's because I got over 250 seeds per package. So if you only have about 70 seeds and you want to maximize, then you definitely want to sow a seed individually, and this is where those come in very handy. I've been watching some people on YouTube where they seed a ton or sow a ton of seeds in one little tray. Well, I don't think personally, there's nothing wrong with that approach, but I'm just the person who likes to save as much as I can, especially with the prices on the seeds. And so I really liked doing this a lot better. Plus, you guys know, I like to save the soil, and I am doing that by using these soil blocks, and I'm just gonna stick with soil blocks. I really like them. I'm glad that I came across them. So, okay. I got my soil blocks. I'm going to put them down. I'll be right back. So like I said, here I have my soil blocks, and I'm just going to put it, I already have some seeds going, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to transplant these over to the next size up, but I'm gonna put it right here. And I have a new batch of blocks ready for my seeds. So like I said, I'm gonna start over with my celosia. Not sure if you guys can see that. Celosia here. And these are very, very tiny seeds. So a good idea for me so far, I mean, I've been reading into when you should start growing them. But see if you can see these. Not sure. Yeah, there we go. They're really tiny seeds. So when they're very, very tiny seeds, I really want to get some more. I'm just having a bit of a pickle, guys, here, sorry. I'm gonna have more plants, and I'm going to sow one individual seed per block. So I'll dip my little toothpick in some water, and then I'm going to grab it individually and just place it in one little block. And tiny seeds, you almost want to surface sow. You don't want to sow them very deep. Remember, we gotta know where we're staying with these in each block. So make sure you know what block you're going into. This may be tedious work, but again, like I said, if you guys want to maximize on the amount of plants that you have, you definitely want to take your time for this. You know what I think this actually looks like? Let me see, come back here, come back a little bit. Oh. Come back a little bit more. So this, I mean, I just think it's funny the way I think about it, and I hope I don't offend anyone. I really don't want to. But this is like in vitro fertilization, because you have to be so meticulous, and you just grab one seed and then you put it in the block, and each one you have to just so precisely. So okay, so after that little observation note aside, I'm gonna get back to sewing these, and I'm going to sew them afterwards because I don't want to keep you guys through watching all of what's going on. But I do want to show you, if you guys get to see my videos again where I have all of my seed collection, I already started sewing my butterfly bush from a while back. Not sure if you guys can see that. It's actually right there. You can see little specks of green, and they are coming up, and I am so excited about these because the other thing I'm thinking about doing, let me fix this camera here. The other thing I'm thinking about doing is that if I have enough plants where I don't need them in my yard, I'm thinking maybe of posting them for sale on Marketplace, on the Facebook Marketplace. So maybe that's an idea for you guys. I think all of the plants that I have are actually very nice, and I think there would be a lot of people who would want to purchase them. So I'm definitely going to try to grow, you know, enough for me and then some extra on the side and see how that goes. Again, it's the first time I'm growing seeds, and especially indoors to start for the spring season. So I don't know, maybe I get a little side hustle out of this, and that would be great. I mean, it could at least sustain my my desire for new plants and new seeds, and you know, it's a way to make money so I can buy more. So there's an idea. So coming back to this, I got this just in a little bit, you know, the awesome thing about technology, you can cut and then start in a new place. So I have some space here from some stacks that I'm already growing. It's been about 2.5 weeks of these growing, if not a little bit more. So I have this space to put new plants, and that's what I'm gonna do with these. I'm going to transplant them into these soil blocks, and I already have my soil going. So let me show you how I do that. I'm gonna put it aside here for now. I'm gonna take my big soil block that is 1, 2, 3, 4 cavities that goes right along here. Oops, so many things going on. So start with the Oh boy. So start with this, and I'm gonna get up because I need to put some pressure on it. Take away anything that isn't good with the soil, anything too big, sticks, remove them. And get started on this one. And you just push and get that dirt in there. Kind of go to the sides a little bit so that more dirt goes in the block. And then do the side. And see how that looks in there. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty compact. I'm gonna use my butter knife. Let's see here. Pretty compact. Push in a little bit. See that everything's full, and it looks full. So that's good. I'm going to remove this back here. Bring this in. And I'm just gonna place it right along in this area. And push down and then push up. And I have a beautiful little block. Now you can see the indentation in there. See that? That indentation? That's where we're going to move these. These go in here. So I just used the butter knife again. Ah, that was bad. My seed is still safe. That's terrible. My seed is still safe. But you can see, not sure, it doesn't focus too good, but I don't know, that's, the green is there. So I'm just dropping it in there. Nice. And it fits just perfectly. So I'm gonna continue doing that with my other seeds. And if you guys don't have time to do this, like maybe I do, then just go ahead and do it on the cell trays. There's nothing wrong with that. I just prefer this method because I have more control of what's growing. I have control of my soil. If I see it germinated, you see how now you move on to the next phase, which is, okay, my seed grew. Now let's move it into a more permanent home, you know? Keep going. And let's see, you can see those tiny little things. So these are my tiny seeds. These are my butterfly bush seeds, and these get to about 10 feet. So imagine going from this to a 10-foot plant. I really wanted to make sure that they would germinate, and so they did. So this is what I'm gonna hope that they will grow a lot bigger. Right? So I'm going to keep doing this, guys, but you guys get the general idea. This is very tedious. It's time consuming, but I have the time to do it, and I do enjoy it. So I do enjoy doing this because somehow with the little bit of time that I have, or a lot of time that I have, I get to kind of unwind. It's my de-stressor time. It's my alone time, my personal take care of my plants time. So I don't mind. I'm gonna keep doing this, and I hope that I see you again here sometime soon. Maybe add some comments of anything, if you learned anything, if you liked anything, if you didn't like it, something. If you have an idea for me, because I'm running out of ideas here for videos. So thanks again for being here, and like I've always said, I hope I can grow with you. I hope you guys can grow with me. I hope you can teach me something, and I hope I can teach you something. But otherwise, until next time, bye.